Welcome back, y'all, and happy Sunday. This is the Bluechip Breakdown, and we are your hosts, Bull and P. Today, we're just going to be celebrating the Tennessee Volunteers that we have that either got drafted or they got picked up up to this point. So, obviously, man, this is such a huge deal for these guys that have been working since most of them since they were like 5 and 6 years old. So, I mean, it's a big thing for us to be able to celebrate this. And obviously, every time that we have a player that goes on to the next level, it helps Tennessee out. I talk about this all the time. I won't stop talking about it, because I need for us as Tennessee fans to understand that this is a huge deal. So proud of everybody, even if they haven't quite gotten picked up just yet. Very proud of all these players. And, y'all please do make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. So we're going to start off right here with all the players that we have that are coming up, or I'm sorry, that are going to be going on to the next level at this point. So number one, right, we have James Pierce Jr. First round guy, goes to our Atlanta Falcons, and we feel great about it. Actually, P, I'm just going to tell you, I was at the point where, for me, whenever I saw the Falcons at number 15 picking Walker, I said, you know what? I'm done.
Yeah.
I said, I'm done with these Falcons because y'all messed it up. But as we touched on, they were actually planning on picking James Pierce at 15, which is why they traded back up at the end of the first round to go out and get James Pierce along with Jalen Walker. So, I mean, obviously, as Falcons fans, we are ecstatic.
Yeah, that's two huge pickups, man. That pass rush got a lot better, and you add two versatile chess pieces right there. So, great job by the Falcons in the first round. But just happy for James Pierce, man. Happy he gets come to the Falcons. I seen a clip of him. I think it was yesterday. He was trying on like some of his Falcons gear or whatever. He was like, man, it's nice to be able to wear red again. He's like I haven't liked the red team in a long time. I've hated the color red for a long time. So good to see him. Home here in Atlanta. So I think he's going to have a great career, man. I'm excited for him.
Yeah, for sure. So next we had Omarr Norman-Lott, who actually went in the second round to the Kansas City Chiefs. And as we always talk about, P, they love to go out and get Tennessee Volunteers. Dante Thornton went fourth round to the Raiders. Dylan Samson, fourth round to the Browns. We had Big O going undrafted, but he did sign a contract with the Saints. Headed for him because we hate the Saints. Okay, like there was a point that I hated the Saints more than I hated Georgia. For those of y'all that watch this channel, you understand what that means. But that was back when it was good. Like I only hate them when they're good. Yeah. I only hate them that much when they're good. I hate Georgia all the time, whether they're good, bad, does not matter. And then we had Big E, who went to the Cardinals. And is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Went to the Cardinals. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then we got Brooksy. Brooksy went to the Chiefs as well. And Cooper Mays, it sounds like he's going to try out with the Miami Dolphins. So I'm going to tell you, he's the guy that's going to have to try out, but he won the whole draft. Getting to be able to go down to South Florida and live. I don't know if he's going to want to leave from there, baby. I'm going to tell you, that's a great place for him to be. So literally, just proud of all these guys, proud of all the players, period. Even if they're not, like we talked about, even if they're not going on to the next level, very, very proud of them. Thank you for your service to our Tennessee Volunteers. Absolutely. All right. So we're going to go ahead and jump into it. Of course, we're going to have some film as well. But let's talk about these players coming out of high school, right? So James Pierce, he was a guy that only On3 had as a 5-star. Looking at ESPN, we know that ESPN has no idea what they're doing. They had him as a 3-star. That's a joke. All right, we all know that they heard. That is pathetic for them to do that. But so either way, James Pierce is for sure a 5-star guy. And, Tennessee's able to beat out teams like Georgia, and things like that. So let's take a look at his stats. And, man, obviously, as a freshman, didn't have to do too much. Now, actually, whenever he came in, it was actually Joshua Joseph, right? He was the one that everyone thought was going to be the, guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's how things can kind of pan out.
That's how it goes, man. I remember James Pierce, his recruitment, he was just like a signing day surprise. I mean, I don't even really remember really hearing much about him as far as us recruiting him. Mm-hmm. And then I was on signing day, all of a sudden, it's like, we got this kid named James Pierce. I didn't know a ton about him. Went and looked him up, watched his film, saw he had the measurables, the athleticism, popped out on film. Like you said, as a true freshman comes in. And, I mean, I remember him making a lot of plays as a special teams guy. Made a name for himself, special teams. But Joshua Joseph was the guy that had a really good freshman campaign. But then going on to year 2, year 3, James Pierce really emerged onto the scene. And, now you see On3 is the only team that had it right. Only team that had him as a 5-star. He is a first-round draft pick, number 26 pick overall. So kudos to him, man. But he had a great career here for the Vols.
100%. And so we are going to take a look at his clips, at his highlights, and I don't know if that's the one. There it is. So, again, I just think that what James Pierce meant to this team over the past couple seasons, I mean, it says a whole lot. So in 2023, he had his breakout year, and just pretty much unstoppable, right? Like, and you can see it here, obviously, coming to, in that Citrus Bowl, getting that pick six. That was really where I think he took himself from being a really good player to being the guy that everyone talked about preseason heading into 2025, running at 23 miles an hour at 6'5", 245 pounds, 4'4", 340, right, Pete? It was something like that on a laser with the hoodie on. I thought that he would have been a 4'3" guy. It doesn't matter because he still went first round. I think he went to a perfect place. I think that the A is going to, we're going to welcome him. Now he is going to have to make some plays because we don't play. Okay, it's kind of similar to, I think, like how Tennessee fans are, where you have some fans that are just going to be miserable either way. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's very, very similar. But I think that he's going to shine here. I think he's going to be an absolute and total star. But in 2024, comes in, he's getting a whole lot of double teams, triple teams, chips. And he's still able to find ways to make it happen. It's not just about his pass rush. It's also about setting a good, strong edge, disengaging, making tackles, using his length, using his speed. Inside of Tennessee system, we play we play like a 3-3-5, 2-4-5 sometimes. That's that Rabbits package, or like a 4-2-5 nickel. So we switch it up a lot. But him being an edge rusher that can drop back into coverage, play out in space, that's what you want on this next level. But P, what are your thoughts, and like what are some of your favorite plays from James Pierce?
Man, I love everything. I think that play against Iowa in the bowl game, that was obviously, you see him run down the sideline. Like, you don't get to see a guy that big typically get opportunity to go out and show his speed like that. But he looked good, man, holding the ball with one hand the way he did, getting to the end zone. And it's a guy, he doesn't really say much. Doesn't talk much, not much of a talker, more of a doer. But absolutely love him. And one thing that sticks out to me about him is, we would kind of be a little frustrated with Tim Banks sometimes because he would be dropping him in the coverage on third down, stuff like that. Like, he did a lot more for this team than people realize. He didn't just rush the passer. He probably did that the best, but he was a selfless guy. He did whatever he was asked to do. Like I said, he'd drop in the coverage, he'd set the edge. He was very disciplined, didn't really bite on those read option fakes. He would do his job every single play. I think when he goes to Atlanta, I think he's being brought in my opinion, as a specialist to rush the passer. And so I think he'll really better pin his ears back and do what he does best pretty much full time now. Whereas at Tennessee, we kind of ask him to do a lot of different things. I think Atlanta, we'll see, because he is versatile, but I think they're going to really let him do what he does best, rush the passer. I think he'll have a really good rookie year. Yeah,
and then too, anytime that you're talking about what Coach Gardner's doing, because the next play that we will look at is going to be Omarr Norman-Lott. Coach G, man, for him to be able to rotate guys in as much as he did, because James Pierce, he got probably the most snaps out of all of our guys up front. But if you look at that, like if you were to line up his numbers, which he had, I want to say maybe 400 and something, maybe 425, 485 pass rushing snaps, that's nothing compared to, like
Ohio State.
Yeah, to most of these other programs where they were probably at like 500, 600. But for him to keep these guys fresh and still put them first round, this is why Tennessee should always be able to go out and get really good edge rushers. And, I'm super proud of the whole organization from top to bottom to go out and land a guy like James Pierce. And I'm proud of him for being able to overcome all that BS, because people were saying, off the field issues, this and that. I just felt like that was a whole lot of smoke and mirrors. They're trying to get his draft stock down. And it probably came from our Falcons.
Maybe.
I sincerely think that it did. They threw it out there because they knew who they wanted. And I kind of felt like that's who we wanted to be, just because he's the best. Honestly, to me, it's either him or it's Carter. Those two, it could be 1A, 1B. It's all in how you look at it. But for me, those are the two, for sure, best pure pass rushers in this draft. He's going to have a successful career for a long time. And I'm hoping that he can make it to the NFL Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah. He's got the tools. So he's in the right spot to do it, too. So he'll be an impact player, I think, year one. It won't take him long to get going. So excited for him.
For sure. All right. So let's bring up Omarr Norman-Lott, right? So Omarr Norman-Lott, he was a 4-star with, it looks like, a couple of sites. I don't know what. I think that he might have came out before On3 was really getting things going. Y'all will see that there's going to be a few players that On3 doesn't have grades for, so that's probably what that means. But like whenever we did his film breakdown, we saw his twitch. We said, man, whenever he plays hard, you can tell that he's got what it takes. But it was just playing at Arizona State, it just didn't look like he was very motivated. This is a guy that was a part-time bouncer. This is prior to that NIL stuff. You know what I mean? When people had to do that, actually, I'm thinking back to whenever I was in school. We had, some of my best friends playing on the line they did the exact same thing.
Yep.
But so he is a dog. Like
Yep.
what Coach Garner did with him, unbelievable. I mean, just look at his numbers, right? You can see what he did at Arizona State compared to what he did with our Tennessee Volunteers. And a lot of folks were upset that he wasn't starting. Now, I think that they've got a little bit of an argument there just because he was our best tackle last season.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I would agree, man. And that was a really frustrating thing. He didn't play more than he did. Like you said, there's been people coming to question his character, whatever. At the end of the day, listen, this guy's a football freaking player. When it's time to line up and go play, he's going to show up and play. Like you said, he's an absolute dog. And, I mean, he doesn't even look as big as he is. Like, was he like 315, 320?
Yep.
I mean, he's one of our bigger D tackles on the whole team. But also, like you said, the quickest, the twitch, the power, the burst, just the nastiness that he plays with, man. He's the type of guy you want on your team. Where do you go? Kansas City. So Kansas City, I mean, they just got a lot better. Him and Trey Smith be going head to head in practice, whatever. Those be some good battles. But man, I'm excited for Omarr. Absolutely love him. I wish we'd get him back for another year. But he was one of my favorite players on the whole team, man. We absolutely love Omarr Norman-Lott.
Oh, I mean, love him. I mean, and look, this is something that we talked about. When the Super Bowl was coming up. I said I don't know why any Tennessee fan would not cheer for the Kansas City Chiefs. And people, I don't understand all this hate. Like, oh my gosh, we hate Pat Mahomes, so we can't cheer for him. He gets too many calls. Dog, they're picking our players. They're helping us.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care what everyone else is saying about how they don't like this person. We got to stick to having our own backs.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah.
There's been a ton of Kansas City Chiefs that were former volunteers for a long time. And who did that start with? I think that started with.
I think it was one of the Colquitts.
I think that's when it really, really picked up was with those Colquitts. I mean, just excellent punters. And they said, listen, it feels like every single draft, they're either, whether they're going to draft them or they try to sign a Tennessee player every single year. Because last season it was Haddon, right?
Yeah, Haddon. I think it was last year.
I mean, come on.
I mean, every freaking year, man. And of course, Eric Berry goes there. They go get Trey Smith. I mean, that's like Tennessee West or Tennessee, mid whatever Missouri is. Where you can, that's our little pipeline to the NFL right there. So, like you said, let's continue to root for these guys because they continue to have our backs. Something about Tennessee players that they like, and everybody I've known that's gone there in Tennessee seems to do well.
Always does well.
So,
and listen, that's a championship organization.
It is.
That's why they like Tennessee players because they get it.
They get it.
You know what I'm saying? They flat out get it, and they've gotten it for a long time. See, there's a couple of programs, Pete, that that you're going to get dogs from those programs. Tennessee, LSU, it doesn't matter whether the team's good or not. You know that they got dogs on that team. That's just in Auburn too. I think that Auburn's got a little bit of that too. Maybe not as much these past couple of years. But I'm just saying those are my allies, Pete, personally, because they hate Alabama. They can't stand Georgia. You know what I mean? So I feel like we can kind of work hand in hand.
Yeah.
But I mean, those are the players that if I'm a GM, that's who I'm targeting. Give me the dogs. Omarr Norman-Lott, he's a dog. Prototype 3 technique. The twitch is outstanding. Pass rushing specialist. And I'm gonna tell you, running a odd front with those Chiefs, he's gonna absolutely eat. It's him and Jones, and then I think that they got a couple of other patch. I mean, they're gonna win the daggone Super Bowl. How many more times? He's gonna win a Super Bowl, y'all.
Yeah,
that's gotta make you feel great. Him, and we've got some more Vols. Hopefully, Brooksy. We're gonna talk about Brooks here soon. But I mean, we've got. That's why I love the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same.
That's why I'm a low key Kansas City Chiefs fan. All right. So let's talk about the next player here. All right, let's see who else we got. Okay, so Dante Thornton. So Dante Thornton goes in the 4th round to the Raiders. So he was a 4-star coming out of high school. This great size. I mean, you can't coach size. 6'5". Now he's 215 pounds. Runs a 4.3 flat 40 on a laser. He's the biggest, fastest wide receiver in NFL combine history. I'm a little bit shocked that he didn't go earlier. That could have something to do with Tennessee's offensive scheme. I just think that, hopefully we'll have more wide receivers that will show and prove that we can do it on this next level. Because from what he did on the field, it wasn't a whole lot of numbers and things like that, but his measurables are just through the roof.
Through the freaking roof. And I mean, that's kind of par for the course for Oakland, or I guess Las Vegas Raiders now. I mean, they love to go out there and pretty much get the fastest receiver every year. Like, they seem to do that. I think back to Darius Hayward Bay around like a 4.2.
Shoot, I mean, they've been doing that since Al Davis. Like that's his thing. He wants the fastest players, biggest players.
Yeah.
So they just holding on to it.
And I can't knock him for that. And I think Dante Thornton fits that mold. So he's a guy, like you said, maybe not a ton to look at in terms of his film in college, but I think he's our best receiver last year, most consistent guy.
Oh, yeah.
Had a little issue kind of staying healthy sometimes, whatever. Or whatever it was, didn't play as much as you expect him to. But, man, the measurables are there. The upside's there. If he can put it all together, I mean, if nothing else, he can be your deep ball guy. I think he learned a little bit, got better at running those dig routes and some of those intermediate routes as well in his time at Tennessee. So I think he can run the full route tree, which is, like we said, I mean, how hard is it to run a full route tree?
It's not.
You know what I'm saying? But I know how some of these scouts look at whatever it is. But, I mean, I think he's going to have a good career, man. He's a much more physical blocker than people can give him credit for. Team-first guy, always seems positive, seems like everybody liked him. So, shout out to him, man. Happy for him, especially bouncing back after his first year at Tennessee. Didn't have the best year, right? But was able to bounce back and earn himself into a round 4 draft pick. So shout out to Dante.
Yeah, man. And this is really so pretty soon we're going to do something. We're probably going to do a film breakdown talking about how Tennessee's choice routes work, because I just think that there's so many people that think that we're going through like real reads and stuff. So I want to show you what it actually looks like so that you understand that doesn't too much matter inside of Tennessee system. But either way, he is a guy, P. Like you said, I think that he can run every single route inside of any route tree. He did a good job of understanding what the defensive coverage was to do the route that he was supposed to do. Mm-hmm. I think that he had good hands, especially his last year. He was very, very consistent, but it's so hard to stop a guy with that type of length and with this type of speed that can run away from SEC, guys. You know what I'm saying? Some of these guys were getting drafted. Actually, I think that might be the safety that the Falcons drafted, Bowman. Yeah. So I'm just saying, y'all, like we do need to have guys on the outside that can make plays. I think the Tennessee's got plenty of them coming up, and hopefully we'll have some more draft picks. But yeah, I mean, Dante, he's a guy that I think he's going to look like a steal. Give him 2 or 3 years. I think he's going to like a total steal, and he should be very, very difficult to stop because he's an inside outside guy, and that's what that's what these NFL teams want. So absolutely. I want to talk about the next player here. All right, let me boom, and hopefully y'all can't see this. Listen, if we're pulling things up and if y'all can't see it, please let us know. So this right here is, of course, Dylan Samson. So he breaks Tennessee's all-time single-season rushing touchdown record with 28, right?
Something like
that. Is that right?
I'm
sorry.
28. It was
22. So even still, I mean, you think about all the great running backs that played at Tennessee. For him to be able to do that, and P, you was higher on him coming into 2024 than I was. You said, hey, I think that he's a stud. I thought that he was good. I just didn't think that I never saw him having a season quite like he just had.
Yeah. No, I mean, Samson, he's a guy you remember. You think back to him, I guess maybe that was his true freshman year, maybe. LSU misses a block on a blitz, misses the blitz pickup, and gets Hendon Hooker absolutely smashed. Mm-hmm. And I feel like he took that person ever since that day. And I don't know if we really saw him really miss many blocks at all really after that. I think he really worked on that. But as a runner, back when he was running number 24, if you guys remember that, and you could see the twitch there, you could see the burst, and he just struck me as a guy that, I mean, just when he got the ball, he was going to do something with it. So you can tell some guys when they get the ball, it's not about just let me get what's there. It's about I'm about to make a play, and he did that every single time he got the ball. Great balance. You hear kind of a newer term. People talk about contact balance. I think he absolutely exudes every bit of that. I mean, a guy that can get hit, no matter how clean it gets hit, or if he doesn't see the hit coming, he still never really gets knocked off balance. Like he has a good low center of gravity, great vision, and breakaway speed as well. And then valedictorian in high school, like super smart, straight A student, all that stuff. So I mean, a team leader. This is a great pickup. Where do you end up going to?
The Browns.
To the Browns. I mean, Cleveland. Hey, kind of a bad luck program. Yeah, the Haslam's kind of a bad luck. What is it? Program, whatever it is, franchise. But maybe he can help turn that thing around. But he's a great player, man. I'm gonna miss him. That's for dang sure.
Yeah. So we're hoping we'd have somebody that can maybe do a little bit of replication of what Dylan Samson did last year. But those are some big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
But like I just talked about. Excuse me. For me, last season, I didn't know was he going to be as good as Jalen Wright was. You know what I'm saying? He had some games where he would score a whole lot of touchdowns. Actually, I think the first game of the 2023 season, Dylan Samson had the most touchdowns.
He had like 4 touchdowns or something.
Yeah, it was something crazy. Yeah. So he has that knack. He's a guy that's always been doubted. He's always been counted out. But he never, ever – and actually, he's got a big chip on his shoulder. So I would not be surprised. Dylan Samson, he's a guy that I think he's going to play in the NFL for a long time. I'm actually happy that he went to the Browns, and they went and got the guy from the Buckeyes, Henderson, and they already have Chubbs, and it's good that hopefully he's going to get to rotate. You don't want these guys to come in and be the freaking bell cow and get ran into the dirt, because that minimizes his how long he can play inside of the league, and it's going to cut short some of his money. So I want for this man to be able to split up time, but to show his worth to NFL teams. And I don't know if he wants to stay with those Cleveland Browns, but just because I don't know if he want to live up there for forever. He probably wants to go to some warmer weather, or he probably wants to go to a program to a franchise that's got Super Bowl aspirations. I don't think that the Browns have that quite yet, but next year looks like I don't think that they picked a quarterback, did they?
They got Shador.
Oh, they did get Shador, and they got Gabriel too.
Oh, they got Dylan Gabriel too?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So never mind. I was about to say, shoot, it looks like they were trying to pick everything else and wait for next season draft. That's where you want to if you're a franchise looking for a quarterback, you wanted to tank, or you want to tank coming up this season, because this is going to be a very heavy NFL draft. But either way, or for quarterbacks, but either way, I'm super proud of Dylan Samson. Love him. I mean, he's a guy that his character is off the charts. And there was a whole lot of talk about, well, sounds like NFL teams care more about character these days. I don't know if that's quite true. I just think that what we saw was, hey, we're trying to prove a point, and
great player, and then something too we didn't talk about, and we didn't utilize as much as Tennessee as we should have, but he's also very good out of the backfield. He has good hands, so he could be a guy. You mentioned the running backs that Cleveland already has. He could be a guy that can split out in the slide or do things with. He's a nice little gadget piece. So I mean, he's a lot more valuable than just a pure running back. He can do a lot of different things for your offense. Yeah, for sure. So I'm gonna get to this one right here. This is from I Bleed Orange. So this is something that I know that you were in the stream yesterday, so I know I know what my thoughts are on this. But he's saying that he's hearing people say that Tennessee is going to go 5-7 or 6-6 in 2025. What are y'all's opinions? So P, what do you think about that? I mean, I would kind of talk about this before. That's a possible scenario. I'm not necessarily saying that's impossible. I think you look at it, glass half full, glass half empty. Like, we got a lot of new pieces, right? The O-line's all new pretty much, but like we talk about all the time, I think that's a net positive. I think our line's going to be better. The receivers new there, but I still think more talent, more ability there at the receiver room. So does that actually improve the team or not? I think running back, I think Bishop is similar to Sam. Not quite as much pop there, but a similar back. I think we're going to get some production with him, Peyton Lewis, as well as Starr, and maybe even some of the freshmen. I think our D-line is going to be pretty similar to what it was last year. Not as much beef on the interior, but I don't think it's going to be much of a drop-off. I think the secondary, new pieces there. But I think overall, I think this team is going to be very similar to the where last year. And I think we can get good play at the quarterback position. We would go for like 2,700 yards last year through the air. I think this year, if we can go to, around 3,300, which I think is very possible, if we can just connect on deep shots more consistently, this team could honestly even do better than they did last year. So, I think it's a wide range. I could see, potentially a 5-6-1 team. I could see that if everything just kind of blows up. But I could also see this team being even better than we were last year. So, really, I know it's a long, convoluted answer, but we just really don't know until we see this team play. But if I predict, I'd say this team does at least as good as they did last year. I'll say 10 wins again, at least. Okay, that's what that's what I'm saying, or if not more.
Wow. Okay, so I'm not. So I think that I'm with P, where you say we don't exactly know what's going to happen. I could see us only winning 5 games, but I could maybe even see us winning 10. It's just because there's so many unanswered questions. The reason that I'm a little bit more concerned is because obviously anytime that you lose your quarterback, that's a huge deal. That is a huge deal. So it's not like losing a cornerback or something, which is big, but it's not like, So it's that. And then also it feels like, I don't know, Tennessee needs to add some more depth in certain places. We had to go to the transfer portal. Doesn't feel like Tennessee's really got the funds to be able to do that. So that does concern the hell out of me. You know what I'm saying? That worries me. So I don't know. I wouldn't at this point. I'm not going to pick us to win 10 games, but I could see, I would say realistically somewhere between probably 7 to 10, possibly. I would say that's about a pretty fair thing. All right. So let's talk about Big O, because Big O, man, he got picked up by the Saints, and we hate the daggum Saints. So hated for him, but hey, at least he's gonna get to eat some really good food down there.
yeah.
And he's gonna have a whole lot of fun down there. Hopefully not too much fun. But either way, so he got picked up as an undrafted free agent, which means that I think he still has to make the team, right, Pete?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's still gonna have to make that team. But you can see that he was a 4-star coming out of high school. So most of these guys, they've pretty much panned out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You could maybe even also argue that maybe he did a little bit worse than his expectations just based off of his draft stock. But I think that he's going to be very, very good. Just like his numbers don't show a whole lot to you. The other thing about Big O is he's versatile. He could play offensive line. Austin Price always says, hey, I think that, he might be our best offensive lineman, So I think that type of versatility is big. And also at his pro day, he did some offensive line stuff. So who knows? That could being versatile never hurts. Yeah. So either way, I mean, you're looking at his numbers here. And we don't have any, clips or anything like that for him. But what are some of your, maybe favorite memories, P, of Big O?
Big O, man, he's just a guy that's, kind of like a big teddy bear a little bit, at least as far as off the field. Just a nice guy, well-spoken, polite, mannered man. Always positive, team leader. Guy did everything right on and off the field. But, typical guy, you like to be the ambassador of the program. Just did everything right. And the guy that played hard, man. I think, he had his ups and his downs. And I remember Coach G always being on him about pad level, playing low, was always getting on about that. I think he got better at that kind of his last year. That was something he was always working on. And the guy was just hungry to get better, took to coaching well from what I can understand, what I've seen from him. So, just a great all-around guy. Did a lot of different things for us. Showed up in some key moments, man, with some sacks and, being a key cog in the middle of that defense. I know you did the snap breakdown, but he probably had the most snaps out of our interior D linemen. Probably, and then he's about 6'4", 320, 330. Yeah. One of our bigger guys too. So just an all-around great athlete. Like I said, playing offensive guard, I can see him doing that as well. I think he'd be very good at that. Or if they want to keep him on defense, he could be good there too. So, just excited for him and just want to see him do well in the league.
Yeah, for sure. So the next player that we'll talk about is going to be Big E. So Big E, he was a 3-star coming out of high school, and he was, these are our big guys that I feel like Tennessee really is going to miss next year because we don't know exactly who's going to fit into that role. But you need guys like this up front for sure. So Big E, super strong guy. I don't know if he ever did his bench, but everybody was waiting on him to. Hopefully he'll, now that he's kind of gotten picked up, hopefully he'll actually rep it out. I would love to see how many reps can he get. You know what? Maybe he did do them, and maybe I'm tripping on that. Yeah, maybe he did do them. Either way, he's a powerful man, right? He's a kind of like shorter, stockier guy, 6'2", 350. I think he probably played last season at about 350. I think he was listed at maybe 340, but huge. Just a powerful guy. Yeah. So either way, he's going on to the Cardinals, and I think that he's gonna make a team. You know what I mean? Sure. I think that he's going to make a team.
For sure. He's, I know I talk about Omarr Norman-Lott as my favorite guy. It might have actually been Elijah Simmons. I absolutely love Elijah Simmons. He reminds me of a guy I played with at Buford, a guy named Willie, who was almost like a miniature version of Big E. Big E's 6'2", 6'3", 350. This guy's probably like, 5'9", like 300. But yeah, he was big. But I can remember one day, he flexed and said, feel my arm or whatever. And I felt it was a straight rock. You thought it'd be soft, it was a straight rock. I feel the same way about Big E. I think he's just straight solid. He's just super solid, super strong, low center of gravity, quicker than people realize. A guy you're not going to move. If you talk about James Pierce, maybe a pass rush specialist. This guy is your short yard situation specialist. You are not going to move this guy. So he can make a long career just from being that type of guy. Very kind of a niche player, but also has twitch, could potentially maybe get to the pass sometimes too. So like him a lot, man. Also known for his singing ability. You hear him sing the voice of an angel, and also is known, I think Pruitt recruited him, and he had posted that video of him dunking at 6'2", 350 pounds, going up and freaking the ambient. So great athlete, great kid, and another one definitely gonna miss, man, for sure.
I'm gonna tell you, there's several players here that came from Jeremy Pruitt. You can say whatever you want about him, but that man knows football. He knows talent. Okay, he knows talent for sure. Yep. And he's one of those old school coaches. So let's go on to Will Brooks. Was not ready coming out of high school, and we were worried about him last season. We said, well, shoot, we're going to have a walk-on guy playing at safety. That's a critical spot. And I think everyone talked about it, but he actually played very, very well. Now, I do want to throw this out there because I know that someone's going to think it or say it or whatever. for me, it's not the same situation that Tennessee's in right now because Will Brooks last season was a fifth-year senior. He had been inside of Tennessee's system, and he had that grown man strength. He got more acclimated to playing on this level. Next year, Tennessee's going to have one veteran, and it's, I think, 3 freshmen. Or, if you want to throw Caleb Beasley into that mix. Actually, am I throwing Beasley in there? We're going to have 3, 4, 5 freshmen, but just because we don't know if Jordan Thomas is going to be able to go. So I just wanted to kind of get that out there. But either way, he definitely, he had a great season. I think that he was our best safety. Had some huge plays for us last season.
He did. Absolutely love Will Brooks, man. He's a guy, kind of every week, everybody's waiting on him to kind of blow it, kind of cost us. But he just showed up every single week, man. He's more athletic, people give him credit for. I don't know what he ran in his 40 or whatever, but I think he has better changes. That's really his short area quickness. Like you watch him on tape, like he does not really have wasted motion in his change of direction. He's very kind of agile in that way. Like you said, a headsy guy, knows where to be. He's going to be in the right spot. Don't have to worry about him busting the coverage. He's going to know what to do and do it. Takes on blocks, can tackle well. He's not a big thumper, right? But he's a good sound. I can't really think of him missing any tackles. He doesn't really miss tackles. Rarely. Just a solid player. We'll see if he can make this team. I think he has a shot to. He's a guy it's going to be tough to kind of get rid of him because he's going to do everything right. Yes, sir, no, sir, all that whole deal. But also, he's going to show up, continue to do things right. It's funny, I was watching Kelvin Shepard. I think he's a coach for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And he was talking about like an undrafted free agent. He was in the film room with his team, with his position group. I think they're DNs. And it was an undrafted free agent that was like just killing it in camp. And then he was kind of going off on his team. He's like, this guy's undrafted. He's like, he's trying to make it look bad. And it's kind of like a funny quote if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. But he's like, he said something like, if he's the better guy, he's the better guy, or something like that, And that could be Will Brooks, the guy that he's just a better guy. So happy for him, man. Hopefully he can make the team and stick around for a little while.
Yeah. So speaking of the Jags, dog, I've watched Travis Hunter put something out yesterday. I think that I might have sent it to you. Boy, he's going to be special. And I mean, we already knew that, but I mean, you want to talk about a guy with all the talent, but it's just football. He's not going to get in no trouble. He's going to stay out the way. He's going to grind, and he's going to be focused. I think that he's got a chance to be one of the best to ever lace him up. You know what I'm saying? Too. Just because with these players, like, we're looking at what were their ratings coming out of high school. You know what I'm saying? Like, what did their stats look like? How did they do in college? And so from every level that you go up with, I don't think that these scouts are too much missing on, hey, they're not missing on looking at that talent. They can see the talent. But you have to have a little bit more than that. You've got to be willing to kind of shut everything else out and be very, very dedicated to what your craft is. I see that a lot with Travis Hunter. And I'm hoping that all of our players will do the same thing. And I think that Will Brooks, he's a guy that will probably do that. It just sounds like he just kept grinding and grinding and grinding until he saw the field. And whenever he saw the field, he didn't look back. So it's crazy to find a guy like, listen, I absolutely love Brooks, but we all know that his talent level isn't like a Travis Hunter. But Travis Hunter being able to have that talent, but also having the drive, almost like he's been overlooked. That's how you know, hey, this is a surefire top 5, player in the whole country.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, Travis he's gonna be absolutely unreal. I mean, we've seen him up close and personal. Like the thing about him, you've seen him up close. Like you hear the scouts talking about it. You hear Warren Sapp talking about it the other day. Like, I mean, he's just got a different level of burst and pop to him that you really don't appreciate till you see him in person. Like he's ridiculous. Like you said, man, just a great kid. None of the nonsense. Doesn't care about none of the freaking nonsense. And then part thing I love most about him is he's absolutely just tireless. Like both sides of the ball. But when you watch him train, doesn't get tired. Like he is, because I mean we've trained with him too. Like we've seen him training and stuff. He does not get tired. Like he is a freak of a man. Like he's inhuman. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So excited for him. But yeah, Will Brooks, put him in that same category in terms of off-field issues, stuff like that. So,
Yep. And so this is the last one right here, at least up to this point. Maybe somebody got picked up since we started getting ready for this stream. But Cooper Mays, everybody loves him, 4-star. And he's a guy that absolutely bleeds orange. And he's a player that we've talked about for such a long time. He's a guy that he could go into any neighborhood, I think anywhere on the face of the planet, and he's going to demand respect. See what I'm saying? Like I feel like he would fit into any type of a locker room, and that will help him out tremendously. Not to mention what he does on the field. He's a very, very good player. I think that the pressure rate that he gave up last season was at maybe 2.5 2.4%. It might have been less than that. It might have been 2.2%. So, I mean, he was the most consistent offensive lineman on our team last year. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that we know about center with the NFL, that kid from Georgia, he got picked in the third or fourth round or something. I think that was the first center pick. So there's just not this wasn't a draft where teams were looking for centers, but they don't put a strong emphasis on finding centers. So if he can show some of his versatility too, where hey, I'm not just a center specialist, but I can, do some different things as far as playing guard and things like that. I know that he's going to show up and he's going to have a really good camp.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, man. He's a football player. That's exactly what he is, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's going to do everything right on and off the field, just like we talked about. And you can kind of say similar to Will Brooks. He's a guy, if he gets his shot, like if, maybe God forbid the guy in front of him goes down or whatever, and they throw Cooper in there, he's got to go play. I don't think that they're going to want to look back. I think he'll hold on to a spot because he's a guy, like you say, he's going to know what to do, super smart. And I think he's more athletic than people give him credit for. Just a guy that's going to do everything right. I mean, he's very consistent with his snaps. I can't really think of too many bad snaps he had. Like, he's very consistent, does things right, man. And, he's a guy, man, I'm rooting for him, man. Love Cooper. Would love to see him get drafted. I think he's good enough. He deserved to get drafted. I think he deserved to be at the combine.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't get those things, but, I mean, it's not going to phase him. He's going to continue to work just like he always has. And I think he'll, if he gets his shot to play and show what he can do, I think that he's going to stick around.
Oh, yeah. I do too. He might have to move around some, which I absolutely hate for him because I do not want him to have to move away from South Florida. That's a great place for him. But either way, I do. I think that he's gonna find a home, and I think he's gonna play in the NFL for a long time. So right now, I'm just kind of double checking this to see has anything happened with these visits of these players, and I don't see anything just as far as the visitors that we had coming up. It does look like Tennessee is maybe targeting another guard for basketball. We're not going to talk about basketball. Yeah. I honestly, I don't really – we will talk about some other sports, but right now I'm so focused on football. Yeah. I can't too much even think about anything else.
And I'm not sure what we're doing in terms of, maybe we're trying to get Jacoby Thomas back. I'm not sure what we're doing. Like, we're letting people walk out and we're not replacing them. Like, we
just talked about that yesterday.
Yeah. We've got to freaking figure something out there. Maybe that's the answer. Just get Jacoby. Maybe they feel confident getting him back. But I feel like you still probably need one more guy. Probably.
Yeah, literally, and actually, I could probably pull it up. I think that I might have something in here just to show y'all what that room looks like while we're talking about it. But yeah, that's something that like I've said, it is a little bit concerning. I don't remember what day would that have been on. Maybe on Thursday. Let me see if we can find something in here. Do we have that?
We're raised within. Because I remember you showed it.
Oh no, that's the basketball team.
Showing it, and who were the starters? It's Turntine. It was soon, it's Turntine, and then who was the other guy? Was it Beasley? Oh no, Farouk.
Yeah.
So it's Farouk, and then God forbid one of those guys goes down, then who the heck is it?
I don't know. I'm about to pull it up. I have to go through and see if I can find it real quick.
Maybe that's a guy. Maybe we got some talented freshmen that we like, but you hate to kind of thrust a true freshman in there, like by need. Like he has to play. You like it to be a luxury. Like this guy's good enough. I know you're talking about Shady Hayward. Will sure be nice to have him.
Man, that would be huge to have him.
He'd probably be one of the guys. But we've got to figure something out there. And also, receiver. I don't know. I'm kind of torn about that position because I do want to see Travis Smith and Ra get their shot.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we are playing with fire.
Big time.
Those two positions.
This it. Oh, wait a second. I think I already pulled this up. You know what? I can't even. For some reason, I can't find it. I know that it was inside of the studio, but it's pretty much gone. So, I wonder if I can find it on a. I'll tell you what I'll have to do is I'm gonna find one of the older ones and we can look at it from that perspective because.
Were you looking for the safety room?
Yeah, man. I want to see how that thing looks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It is just because I want people to here it is. Okay, so this is not the updated version. So we already know that Kobe Thomas is probably gone, John Slaughter's gone, Christian Charles is gone. So looking at everything else, Andre Turntine, redshirt senior, he's a veteran guy, started for us last season. Jordan Thomas didn't play for us last year. He's coming off of a big time knee injury. Don't know if he will play, but he will be the other veteran. Then you look at Edris Farouk. He is it says sophomore, but he would actually be a redshirt freshman. So second-year guy, Caleb Beasley. We talked about him being the guy that was going to be the backup star. He's definitely going to have to probably play some safety. I don't know what they're going to do there because we don't have enough bodies. Sidney Walton, he's a freshman. He's a true freshman. Then you look at Timothy Merritt. He's another freshman, and he's been playing at cornerback. So if you look at the players that have a star next to their name, it means that this is not their real position. So these are not like some of the guys we're going to be trusting. They're not like true safeties. We didn't get them to go to come and play safety. So Tyler Redmond, you could call him one of those guys. He's going to be playing corner. I don't think that we can. I don't think that we can put him at safety right now, just because we need corners. So I think that he's there. Again, you're talking about Andre Turton. What we got 1, 2, 3. Really, 3, 4 guys, and only one of them is a veteran. That does not look good, at all. Like, there is no excuse. There's something that has to be done. And you might think that you got some guys that you really trust that are younger to maybe start early on, which I'm cool with that. I don't care how old they are necessarily, but you still need some more. Like, safeties got to play in the funk. Like, they got to come downhill and all of that full speed. Like, everything that they do. That's probably, P, would you say that is the most that they're taking the biggest hits?
Yeah.
Because it's you're 12, 15, 20 yards off of the freaking football, and it's full speed for you, full speed for whoever you're tackling. It's a long run. That's a big impact.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, for sure. I mean, think about it. If the ball's handed off and it makes it to you.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like you said, you're 20 yards deep. You know what I mean? So you're coming downhill. That's why they talk about, concussion, stuff like that. Like, the linemen, they're banging every play, but they're so close. It's not as much of an impact necessarily as these second and third level guys. You hear running backs talk about it. You listen to some all-time greats talk about it. I wasn't worried about Ray Lewis or, I wasn't worried about the linebacker. I was worried about that safety coming downhill because those are the ones that were going to pop it because they got the biggest head of steam. So, I mean, it's big collisions there for sure. And like you said, man, it's the back end of your defense. Like, your safeties have got to be right. Like, they can correct a lot of wrong. You cannot be, busting your assignment at safety because that's how they're going to be playing.
Yeah, that's 6 points. That is 6 points. So this question is asking about Brew. I haven't heard anything about Brew just yet, but I think that he's going to probably, get to try out with somebody. I think that everybody else that hopefully, Campbell, who else we got? Spraggs, Carrick. There might be some other ones that I'm not thinking of right now, but I think that they will get some opportunities to at least try out, and it's going to be up to them. You know what I'm saying? It's really tough once you get to that spot, right? Just because they've kind of already spent their money in certain places, and that is a business. So they're gonna, they might have to keep on trying. But of course, man, we have everybody's back. But that's going to be it. P, do you have any closing thoughts?
No, man. Well, I would say I'm super proud of everybody. The guys that got drafted, the guys that went undrafted free agents, even the guys that are still trying to figure it out, man. Proud of those guys. I think I've said on here before, but appreciate everything they did for the University of Tennessee. I mean, those guys, every last one of them gave it their freaking all. I mean, they freaking strapped it up. You think back to the guys like Big E and Big O and those guys. Coop, I think, was part of that group that was transitioning from Pruitt to Hype. We lost like 30-something guys. Those guys stuck it out. They helped us get out of the dark ages, and now we're in a much better spot than we were. And man, I absolutely love those guys. So wish them the best going forward. Yeah, I think that was very, very well said. But that's going to be it, y'all. Please do make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Thank y'all so much, and we'll see y'all on the next one. Thanks. Peace.